What's up, guys? Jesse here, and today I wanted to talk a very small bit about the role of what you eat and how it impacts almost every aspect of your life, starting with the very first thing. And I'm gonna throw in some little cool tips on how actually not eating can dramatically improve so much in your life in the way of your mental health, your cognitive abilities, your blood pressure, your fat burn, your energy levels, your mood. So, diet. Like, there's so many diets that it's too much to begin to think about in a way. So yeah, what should you eat, and like how to simplify that in its most basic form, so that it's actually like a consumable idea for your mind, is that you should eat whole foods. So essentially, if it like was wrapped in plastic, for the exception of the whole foods that actually do come in a bag, then it's probably not going to result the goals that you want. So whole foods that are simple, and that means, like, what do I mean by whole foods? Like foods that come in the form that they were like grown in. And I'm not talking about an alfalfa sprout chia seed mashed cracker that you dip into your kale avocado Greek yogurt dip. Like, that is processed food. And in the process, I'm gonna bet that they added some things like sugar and some form of MSG and some like kind of table salt and other preservatives and stuff that makes it hard for you to think, burn fat, be happy, and sleep well. So I encourage you to eat a whole foods diet. And just a little bit about my own diet. Like, not to overcomplicate it, but I eat a plant-based diet. So the way I do it is it's in a cycle, and I do it on a daily cycle. If I'm going to work out, then I don't eat in the morning, and I have water or just plain coffee, which is leading me into the end of this video, but that is known as intermittent fasting. Intermittent fasting prior to going to lift weights or work out causes a higher rate of fat burn and muscle gain at the same time, because you can then capitalize on the intermittent fasting by eating a high protein meal right after that. And the way I do that is, if it's a typical day, then I'm gonna have a high fat coffee, which is coffee with MCT oil, and I put it in a blender, blend it up. It's like really, really good. It feeds your brain with a lot of really healthy fats. This gives me loads of energy, like all day long. For then, because I am actually trying to gain weight, because I got a little too thin even for myself, I have a snack, which is usually a protein shake a couple hours later, and then I'll have lunch, which is usually some form of broccoli, cauliflower, asparagus, arugula in something, and it's usually like, I love curry, so I'm always making curry. Coconut curry. It's really simple. I put coconut milk into a pot. I add broccoli, cauliflower, asparagus, like whatever it is that I'm having. But I usually do avoid carbs in the afternoon. And then for dinner, I will have something very similar to that, and I will also include carbs. My main sources of carb and protein. Also, in that lunch, I will add some nuts like macadamia nuts, cashews. Sometimes in my protein shake, I'll put pumpkin seed. So I know that that's actually high in carb, but it's offset by the fat. So as you can see, this can all get very tricky, and the main focus should just be on whole foods. And if I'm gonna break this down in any sort of way, it should be a high-fat breakfast, which for me is a high-fat coffee. And I take an MCT oil bottle, and I just go like this, boop, like one little dribble. And that's actually a large amount of fat. You're just putting straight oil in there. Then for lunch, I have a higher protein, but plant-based. And yes, there is protein in broccoli, cauliflower. There's protein in all of the vegetables. So what I'm doing actually for lunch is I'm avoiding fast carbs. Like, I don't really eat bread. If I do, then it's sprouted, so like Ezekiel bread, but that's later on in the day because carbs make you sleepy. So from here till here, high fat, high protein. From here until here, some carbs if I'm having a snack, and then carbs heavy for dinner because that makes you tired. So I'll have like lentils, sweet potato, Japanese yams, purple potato, normally broccoli, cauliflower, asparagus, arugula, some sort of cruciferous vegetable, sometimes kale, avocado, and yeah, I hope I'm not getting too complicated here. Now, what does all that do? Well, it's like crazy good for your gut flora. Your gut flora controls a lot of your brain. There's a main nerve running from your brain all the way down to the end of your digestive system. And there's a huge bundle of nerves in your low belly. There's also a huge bundle of nerves around your heart. So we actually have 3 brains. We have our head brain, our heart brain, and then our gut brain. And what you eat has a major impact on your gut brain. It also has a major impact on, since it's having a major impact on your gut brain, it's having a major impact on your mood, on your ability to sleep, on your fight or flight, and your ability to handle stress. It's having a major impact on your ability to either burn fat and gain muscle or store fat and not gain muscle or maintain muscle mass. And I'm not talking about becoming like some huge 300-pound bodybuilder, which is okay. I'm not knocking those people either. I'm just saying, I know that the majority of us are not within that group, and the majority of us just want to feel good and look good. And it's not as complicated as it seems. As a matter of fact, every single time that I make myself lunch and dinner and breakfast, I am amazed at the effects that I can receive from throwing some frozen broccoli into a pot with some coconut milk and adding some curry paste, and it's so delicious. It takes the teensiest amount of effort that you could ever imagine. But anyway, I'm digressing, and I'm running over in time. I didn't really want to make this video this long, but anyway, The other area that it has a major impact on is your ability to sleep. And your ability to sleep has a huge role in your immunity, which also your immune system is basically stored in your gut brain, your gut flora. So what you eat, if it's impacting your sleep, thusly impacts your, once again, ability to handle stress, your mood, your overall mood, your energy. Obviously, if you can't sleep, you're not going to have any energy. It affects your job performance, your cognitive performance, the way that you interact with your friends, your family, your children, your spouse. It affects how you like drive in traffic. And once you start to make these changes, and they're not like anything crazy, you will notice other people just on the road, and like you can see that like how their diet, their lifestyle is impacting their ability to move through our society and either like kind of butt heads with people or just like let things go. I hope you guys like my Charlie Day hand signals here. Kitten mittens. So yeah, my last little sort of hack here, and I kind of got into it in the middle, was or is intermittent fasting. And if you guys don't know about intermittent fasting, it's like one of the coolest little hacks that you can do. And what's so great is it costs no money. If anything, you don't spend any money because you're not eating. Now, am I saying to starve yourself? Absolutely not. What I'm saying is to choose an eating window. So if I have my clock here, my imaginary clock, and I stopped eating at 7 o'clock at night, and then I go to, I don't eat, and then I go all the way around, and I wake up at, let's say, 7 o'clock again. So that's been 12 hours that I didn't eat. And then if I'm going to go to the gym that day, I won't eat until I leave the gym. So let's say I go to the gym at 10 a.m. So that's another 3 hours, so that's 15 hours, and I work out for an hour, 16 hours. Then I'm gonna have a protein shake right then. I am spiking my protein intake because whatever you eat after you're in a fasted state, your body just grabs a hold of and immediately starts using it. So I also put MCT oil in my protein shake, so that explodes my cognitive performance because the fat rushes straight to my brain. Fat is one of the most fuel efficient sources for your brain to use. But anyway, so that's like what intermittent fasting looks like. And then from 11 until 7 o'clock at night again, or let's say, whatever I'm doing, I'm going to eat 2,800 to 3,000 calories. I'm not restricting, I'm not starving. I'm committing to an eating window, and I'm allowing my body to reset itself every time I do eat. And this resets all of your enzymes, your digestive enzymes. It resets hormones. Basically, if you think about food as kind of like harsh, it's harsh to the inner environment of your body. It's like this foreign thing, and your body's like, what do I do with all this? Like, I gotta break it down and like chop it up and dissolve it, and it can't it doesn't love doing this every hour, like the way that we're kind of trained to eat. So what's really cool is you can skip breakfast, let's say, if that's your style of doing it, or you can skip dinner, let's say. You usually do it on one side or the other. And you have extraordinary impact to your health, your mood, your ability to handle stress, your sleep, your digestion, your insulin resistance, which insulin resistance is what basically causes us to gain fat. You actually start becoming less insulin resistant, so I'm not going to get into that in this video because that is like kind of an explanation. But just know that you're lowering your insulin resistance, which is like a really great thing, and it's so good for your heart. So basically by doing this, you're affecting all three brains and you're causing them to line up. You're lining up all your chakras, and so that energy can flow freely. There's no blockages from, like, oh, well, I had like one little piece of bread like earlier today, but like only one little piece, like, well, that puts a blockage wherever that thing is until it's gone. So an easy way to combat that is to simply not eat, drink water, drink black coffee, drink green tea. You kind of want to stay away from herbal teas. You can drink carbonated water. My favorite is black cherry. And depending on your goals for fasting, you like whatever it is that you're after. So like I was saying, I have a protein shake, like that's how I break my fast. If you want to build your gut flora, like I don't really eat meat. I'm on a plant-based diet, so I would go with like a broth of some kind, vegetable broth obviously, but if you're not, you can use bone broth. It's like steroids for your gut flora. Yeah, there's all sorts of tricks and hacks to this stuff, but yeah, if you've never heard of intermittent fasting, you should really look into it. I'll make more videos about it. If you guys found this video helpful, please like and subscribe. My name is Jesse, and I'm here to help.